Hey guys, hey villagers, as my wife says. I'm here. Baby Noah's sleeping. Coopy. As you can see, I gotta stay hungry. I stay hungry, so I gotta have something to eat. But on today's episode, my wife's gonna talk about ways of integrating baby and pet. My name is Ruben. I'm April's husband. I'm the other half, So as you can tell, we have our dog Cooper, and he is our firstborn. He is our fur baby, and Noah is our human baby. We knew that the time was coming that Noah was going to be arriving in the world. We had Cooper at a babysitter. So we had babysitters, and we had Cooper there in the interim until we were ready to introduce him to Noah. And what we did was the sitters for Cooper asked us to bring some of Noah's clothes so that they can integrate his scent, so he can understand that there was a new person in the pack, because Cooper views us as his pack. So we brought him a couple of Noah's clothes, and after about maybe a week or two, we decided, all right, it's time to take the plunge and bring Cooper home. So we brought him home, and but we introduced Cooper and Noah very slowly. So Cooper sniffed Noah, and first thing he wanted to do was just like, what's going on here? And what we did was, he couldn't get real close because Cooper wanted to lick him. But we were like, no, in due time, we'll do that. So overall, the process has been good. Cooper took well to Noah, and Noah's still trying to figure out who Cooper is, but he wants to pet him and hang out with him and stuff like that. And these guys are starting to build a relationship where Cooper, has to be in some proximity to Noah. He may not be like right on top of him, but he needs to be able to know or hear or see him. And then from there, it's pretty good. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. So in today's video, we're going to be giving you tips on best practices of integrating your newborn with your pet. As my husband mentioned, we have a Corgi, which is a medium breed dog. I'm pretty sure this will apply to any dog, but I do want to caveat that Cooper was a puppy when we had Noah. Cooper was 15 months old when I had Noah. So they are 15 months apart. If you have an older dog, you might not have to do as much work. And if you have a younger dog, you'll probably have to do a little bit more work. But this is just bits and pieces of advice that we were given, as well as just things as we've had Noah since he's been here for 4 months, what we tend to do. So as my husband mentioned, when I was in my latter stages of pregnancy, we kind of knew when Noah was coming because he was 2 weeks late. We had Cooper go to his daycare, and Cooper was at the daycare for about a week. And what we had to do throughout the week was bring Noah's items to the daycare so that Cooper could get familiar with Noah's scent. One of the reasons why the daycare recommended doing that was so that you can kind of neutralize the territory. It's kind of difficult when you bring something new into an environment where the dog already has claim and territory over. So we're moving Cooper out of his familiar environment and then bringing him back in where Noah's scent was kind of already here for a little bit. I think also helped Cooper kind of reintegrate himself back into the family. We also waited a week because my husband and I wanted to get adjusted with having Noah prior to having to deal with Cooper. Now, because Cooper already had Noah's scent kind of in his peripheral, when he came in, he became very protective over Cooper. As I mentioned in previous videos, when you're pregnant, your dog or pet, I should say, because it also applies to cats, your pet you give off certain hormones, and so your dog or your pet knows that you are pregnant, and they become very protective over you. In the beginning stages, they feel like your baby is their puppy or their kitten, which is why they can become a little territorial. And that's another reason why you want to make sure you remove your dog or your pet and then reintegrate them. Now, if you have a cat, I don't know what to tell you, sis. I don't handle cat. I just have a dog, okay? But I'm pretty sure the rule would kind of apply with the cat. You know, just make sure if you're doing a hospital birth. That's the other thing that kind of varied too, is that I gave birth at a birthing center. So a few hours after I gave birth to Noah, I came home. But if you're in a hospital, typically you're in the hospital between 2 to 3 days. And if you've had a C-section, I think it's a couple of days longer. So you have a few more days extra away from your pet if you have a cat. So that might help in that instance. But because we came home a few hours after I gave birth, Cooper was already in daycare. So we already had a plan in place prior to me giving birth. I think that's another thing too, is to have a plan on how you're going to integrate your pet with your baby. Remember, your pet, your home is their territory. So if you're bringing something new in, they become very territorial. So you want to make sure you don't create any friction or jealousy between your baby, which is not going anywhere, and your pet, which hopefully is not going anywhere either. The next thing I think that we noticed that has been working really well is that wherever Noah is, we make sure Cooper and Noah are in the same space, so that Cooper knows, like, even though in the hierarchy Noah, comes before Cooper, right? That doesn't mean that Noah is like completely above Cooper, but they need to know that they're a part of the same pack and that we're a unit. Just because Noah is an addition to the unit doesn't mean that Cooper is eliminated from the unit. Another thing is, what we started to do now that Noah's a little older is we're slowly having Noah touch Cooper in a nice way. A good thing to practice is the way that you treat your animal. Your baby is watching how you touch and treat your animal. So we're always very soft and gentle with Cooper. We're soft and gentle on Cooper in general, but just remember that as your baby grows, like Noah, he's starting to learn how to crawl. So he's gonna eventually be mobile and start trying to chase after Cooper. So you want to make sure that the way that you are interacting with your pet is the way you want your child to interact with your pet. So just be very gentle with your pet, talk very nicely to your pet, so that Noah, in this case, Noah picks up, okay, this is how I talk to the little furry thing, because he doesn't know it's a dog. And same thing with Cooper. Cooper, he's very aware of Noah's scent at this point. Whenever, as my husband mentioned, whenever Noah is in a space, Cooper is in the same space. So that's how we kind of go as a family unit. Whenever we travel, Cooper and Noah, for the most part, travel together. We haven't done any international traveling, obviously, but when I'm visiting family, Cooper always comes with us, so that Cooper knows, hey, you're still part of the pack, and Noah's part of the pack too. Another thing is we never leave Cooper and Noah in the same room without myself or my husband. Either Noah will come with us or Cooper will come with us. 9 times out of 10, if we take Noah, Cooper's coming. So you don't want to leave your pet by themselves with your child. I know some people do that, but it's pretty dangerous. Even though we know Cooper is pretty friendly, you also have to remember too that Noah is a new person in his space and he's getting adjusted. Dogs have anxiety just like humans have anxiety. And so, of course, the more time Noah's here, Cooper will become more comfortable. But for 15 months, it was just me and my husband. And then, bam, Noah came in. So you don't want to leave your pet alone with your baby while they're still small. Now, as they get older and your child is able to, like, you know, have more control over your pet, that's a different conversation. But when they're really, really young, you need to supervise them. And also, this teaches your pet how to interact with your baby. It goes both ways. So you teach your baby how to interact with your pet, and you teach your pet how to interact with your baby. Another tip that I have found very useful is that whenever I'm giving Noah attention, I will always give Cooper some type of attention too. In the early stage, obviously, when you're healing, that's a little hard to do. But now that I'm, 4 months removed, it's a little easier to get down on the floor and play with Cooper and play with Noah. I try to designate separate time to play with Noah and Cooper so that Cooper knows that he is still loved and that we haven't forgotten about him. Now, some days I'm able to give more attention to Cooper, and some days I'm not able to give Cooper as much attention, but I always try to make sure that if I'm talking to Cooper, I call Cooper's name, and when I am talking to Noah, then I call Noah's name, just so that they each know that I'm talking to them. Is there anything else that I kind of missed?
No, I mean, you did go over all the different facets and things like that in regards to your experience and how you handled it and integrated it. So, no, you did. You hit on a lot of the topic points and stuff like that. I know they probably might have a few more questions. Like they might ask you in regards to like, well, did you see any signs of jealousy with Cooper initially?
I didn't see any signs of jealousy.
Did you notice that Cooper, for example?
Not when Noah first came home, no.
No,
Because remember, Cooper, while I was pregnant, Cooper became very protective. So in the early days of Noah's life, Cooper associated Noah as his puppy.
Yeah.
Like,
he would lay on your belly and stuff.
Yeah, he would lay on my belly, lick it for some reason. Because he thought I was carrying his puppy. And I guess now they're both, Noah now is becoming more aware that he's his own separate entity. And Cooper's starting to realize, okay, well, Noah's getting bigger, so he's not a puppy.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be a big human.
I think another good tip is to, also, I think for Cooper, because he was socialized when he was a puppy, that really, 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 really helped.
Yes.
Because of, the pandemic or whatever, we can't really socialize Noah with other babies, but I think having Cooper here has helped somewhat with Noah being able to have some association to some other stuff. So I think if your dog has experience being socialized, it won't be as bad for the dog. I do know that I think as Noah's becoming bigger, Cooper is getting a little bit more anxious because he's not quite sure what Noah is trying to do, because it's new for both of them. Cooper, again, he's still a puppy, and then we have Noah, who was a growing baby. So the two of them are still trying to figure each other out. But I think by Cooper being socialized, it's helped, because he really wants to play with Noah, but he's not sure how.
Yeah.
And Noah's trying to figure out what Cooper is. So we do say, like, he's your fur brother, and we try to, and we tell Cooper, like, he's your little brother. So we try to, associate their association.
Sure.
So that they know, like, they're on the same team, just different breeds. He's a, corgi.
Mm-hmm.
He's a human baby.
He's a human baby.
I think the last thing, and then that's all I got, is I really try to make sure that Cooper, and this is something that I had to think about when I was a little girl and my parents brought home my little sister. I had to always remember that because Cooper is first, you have to really make sure that Cooper understands that he is not being replaced, And so I don't know about y'all, but I talk to Cooper like he's a human. So I always try to talk to Cooper, let him know like you're mama's baby, and just reassure Cooper that everything is gonna be okay. I think that's helped also, so that he knows he's still part of family. Whenever we eat dinner, he eats with us. Whenever we're chilling, he chills with us, so that he still feels like he is a part of the squad, because he's a very important part of the squad, you know? So that's it. Ooh, that was kind of loud. But thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I hope these tips were very, very helpful. If you have any additional tips, make sure to put them in the comment section below so that we can share tips. If you have older children, like I mentioned, Noah's only 4 months old. So if you have older children and you have pets, what are some things that you have done as your child grew and they were able to become more mobile and stuff? Luckily, Cooper doesn't have a tail, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But Cooper does have a really thick coat, so as you can tell, I probably have fur all over me. So that'll be the next interesting phase when Noah tries to grab him and then fur is in his hand. So please subscribe to this channel if you are not a part of the village.
Click the button, click it.
Click the button and join the fam.
Subscribe.
Share, like, and comment on this video. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much to the villagers who are supporting this channel. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you next time for another video. Take care. Peace out.
Peace out, villagers. Like I said, like she said, subscribe. Hit that button, subscribe. Yes. Peace out.
Okay, say bye.